Hey everyone, welcome back to Watch and Carry. So in today's video, we're going to be covering flat repair kits and different types of pumps that you can use on the Onewheel. So for me personally, I have a small bag that I carry with me on all my rides. And usually in there, I'll have at least some kind of pump, and I'll have a tire pressure gauge and a flat repair kit. I fortunately have not had to repair a flat on my Onewheel yet, but I have definitely had to refill the air in my tire coming back from flights when I usually have to deflate it before getting onto the airplane. So let's go over the flat repair kit first. Now, like I said, I have not used this kit on my Onewheel. That being said, I have helped a couple of buddies repair a flat that they had on their go-kart, and the go-kart uses a very similar wheel or similar tire to the Onewheel. So this kit is what they've used, and I can't see any reason why it wouldn't work for the Onewheel as well. But you know, if there are better suggestions out there, please let me know. So this is the size of the kit. It's a pretty big box considering, you know, you're going to have to carry this on your person. The box itself measures, 8 inches long, just shy of 5 inches wide, and about 1¼ inch tall. And inside the kit, you're going to get several things. So this is relatively empty because I don't carry this box, or it's completely empty. I don't carry this box with me. I emptied out everything here and I just carry it in my own box or in my own bag, so it's a little bit more compact. So the things that you will get are a set of tire plugs, of course. This one comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is good for up to 6 different punctures. It will come with a PSI or tire pressure gauge, which is great. The PSI on the Onewheel read is supposed to be at 20 PSI, so this will more than cover that need, as you can see there. It also comes with a reamer, and it comes with a plug needle as well. Okay, so the way this will work is if you have a flat, you find where it's located, of course, and then you have to pull out whatever's in there. Now, for me, I also carry a pair of pliers. In a different video, I did cover that. I usually have this Leatherman with me. If you're just going to carry a pair of pliers, this is way too bulky, but I use this for other things as well. This is basically my backpacking tool. So you're going to pull out that needle or whatever it is out of the tire, and then you are going to essentially try to clean and roughen up the surface where that puncture was made. So that's where the reamer comes in. So you'll find the hole and you'll just kind of insert this, pull in and out, and really roughen up the surface. And what that allows you to do is it provides a little bit more surface area to grab on for the plug to grab onto once you insert that in. After it's been roughened up, you're going to take this needle insertion tool. Okay, and you can see here at the end, it's not quite complete at the end. There's a little cut here. What you'll do is you'll insert that plug, halfway, so it's 50-50. And then you're going to drive this all the way into the tire itself. Okay. And you're going to insert it usually 2/3 of the way. So if this is the full length, usually you're going to insert about 2/3 of the way in. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull it straight out really, really quickly. And what's going to happen is that that plug is going to fit its way through that slit and get stuck inside the puncture in the tire. And then essentially you've now plugged the hole in the tire. And if there's extra material hanging off, you'll just get a pair of scissors. Again, you'll have to have those on you, or a knife. So on my multi-tool, I have a pair of scissors that I carry with me. And then you'll just cut off that extra material off the surface of the tire. And then you're pretty much good to go. Once that puncture has been fixed, you now have to pump it up. So for my day-to-day rides, what I use what I carry for filling up air is this really small pump. Now this is called an air chuck. It's by a company called Genuine Innovations. I'll put the I'll show you guys where I bought it and the description of it and price in a little bit. And what I like about this is just the size. It's really compact. So if I put this against a ruler, you can see here it's just shy of 1.5 inches, right? And this is very light. I believe this weighs 16 grams, and it has a universal thread here at the top. So what that means is you can use this with almost any CO2 cartridge. Now I have Genuine Innovation 20-gram cartridges here, but you can use a standard CO2 cartridge that you might have at home. You can buy them from REI or your local sports store. The mouth of this pump is a dual compatible. So for most road bikes or speed bikes, they will use a Schrader. They'll use a Presta valve. But for our Onewheels, we use a Schrader valve, like a mountain bike tire. And so what you'll do is the further you push in, the different type of valve you're going to accept. So the further you push this in, it's meant for a Presta. The less you put in, it's going to be accommodating for a Schrader. Now, the way this works is now that we've plugged up our tire, you thread in your brand new CO2 cartridge. You're going to hear an initial hiss, which is that puncture. Once that's punctured, you're going to put this on the tire stem, and then you're going to push as hard as you can until you start hearing the CO2 enter into the tire. Now, this is 20 grams. You know, CO2 cartridges usually, at least in my road biking experience, you can buy these in 12 grams, 16 grams, and 25 grams. Usually the lower ones, like 12 grams or 16 grams, are good for about, 90 to 110 PSI. These larger ones, like 20 or 25, are usually good for about 120 PSI, if not more. Now, on my road bike, I have each tire is recommended to inflate to 110 PSI, and I have definitely used a brand new one of these, filled up the tire completely, and had still a little bit extra CO2 left in the cartridge. So at the very least, you can get 110 PSI out of this 20-gram cartridge. Now, as I mentioned, the Onewheel tire is recommended to 20 PSI, so this will cover you more than enough. So this is what I carry day to day. Now, if I'm traveling on an airplane, I can't carry a closed container for obvious reasons. So in that case, I ditch that and I use this pump. Now, this is made by Hopopro. This is their mini bike pump. And I bought this for the size and for the ease of function. When you're having to repair a kit on the side of a road, especially if you're on the side of a road where you don't really have a lot of room to yourself, or if it's about to get dark, efficiency is key. And then also you're tired, right? So you don't really want to be stuck there with a really small hand pump, wasting a lot of energy trying to inflate your Onewheel. So with this unit, it's actually a foot pump. So I'll show you that in a second. Let me get the dimensions, of course, out of the way. This one is just shy of 7 inches long, 3 inches wide, and just shy of 3 inches tall. And the way this works is you remove this band on the outside. You depress the top of this momentarily. You move the foot pedal down, or foot support down. And then now you have a foot pump. Usually you'll put your non-dominant foot here, and then you'll activate this with your dominant foot. And then you have a dual accepting valve here for, again, the Presta on the bottom and the Schrader for the Onewheel on the top. This is an unlocked position. Once this gets inserted into the tire stem of the Onewheel, you clip it down to lock it in, and then you start pumping. So this is just great. It's, again, much bigger than my air chuck, but, small to carry with me, easy to fit in my bag that I carry my Onewheel in, and saves me a lot of energy of using my feet rather than using my hands to pump it up. Now, with both of those, the Hopopro and the air chuck, They don't have a gauge on them, a PSI gauge. So I carry a separate one with me, which is the one that came with my tire repair kit. You can buy digital if you want. There's smaller ones out there, bigger ones out there. They have ones with dials that are a little bit easier to read. For me, this has always been tried and true, and it was free. It came with my kit, so I really don't want to buy another one. But, definitely carry some kind of PSI gauge with you. Yes, you can inflate and just go based on feel and then fix it later when you get home. But, I like to inflate properly. However much you inflate the tire, whether it's over or under, definitely will affect not only your mileage, but it will also affect the wear of your tire, and it will also affect the handling. So the pint in and of itself is kind of a mixed bag between what people think with the handling. There's a lot of people that think it's very difficult to handle and to balance and to steer, and there's some that say it's very carvy, much more maneuverable. I really think all that stuff just has to do with your muscle training, how used to board sports you are, and just how many miles you've put on your one wheel. That's all really going to depend. But for everyone, for sure, the tire inflation level is going to affect anyone. So, it's better to get it right and to have the right tools for the job. So this is what I carry. If you guys have any comments or suggestions, please put them down below. I'd be curious to see what other stuff you guys carry, if there's anything that you recommend or anything that I missed. Also, if there's anybody that's had to deal with a flat, if you could share in the comments how you repaired it. Did you use the slime kit? Did you use something else to patch it up? I would be really curious to see how easy it is to repair a flat on a one wheel, and what are some of the other options out there. One thing I've seen online are comments about people saying, can we find a digital wireless PSI transmitter that basically gets screwed into the stem of the tire? So they do sell these online, where you can have this little tooth that screws into the valve of the one wheel, and it's electronic, and it will send a wireless Bluetooth signal to your phone to give you live readings of the PSI of the one wheel. So I've seen my dad use those on his truck for his 4 tires. I'm really curious to see how easy those are to use on the one wheel, and if you can calibrate it to fit the PSI readings of the one wheel. So if anybody has experience with that, please share below. I'd be really curious to see that. But yeah, that will cover it for today's video. Hope you guys found something useful. And if you could like, comment, or subscribe below, that would be great. And yep, ride safe. And hopefully you guys never have to use this stuff. But ride safe, have fun, and see you on the next one.